Is that it? Is that all? That's the music? There's no more? All right, all right, all right. Let's get started then. It's right over here. This is the button, right? This is the one. Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It's so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is January 23rd, 2025, and we're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? I see folks tuned in live from Twitch and YouTube. Let's take a look and greet some folks right over there. How you doing there, Duca Soft? C Sharp Titan, good. My goodness, 1:30 in the morning in Melbourne, Australia. Hope you're doing well. That is mighty early. TMKDK, Null Sheffa with some waves. Jay's watching us on YouTube from the UK. How you doing over there, Jay? Hello, hello. Jeeb is watching from France. How's it going? Cymac, happy Thursday to you. Go ahead, we're gonna do a hat check out here real quick. There you go. Eddie Dre, good morning to you, smirking squiggly. Let's build that, John. Absolutely. I agree. Surly Dev, checking out the hat command. It's a fine hat. Thank you. Let's see what the AI thinks this hat is. Should be popping up right here in just a second. Come on now. Come on now. This is a good one. You know what this hat is. You know what this hat is. I'm doing well, Surly Dev. Thanks so much. Wow, I think we stumped it. Look at this. It's taking its good old time getting back here. Come on now. I haven't seen it take this long to return. Yeah, Hat AI is still warming up. It's that cold outside that the Hat AI is not responding. That is taking a little bit longer. Let me look in the log here and see if there's a... No. Yeah, we'll send it some coffee. There's no messages. There was an error detecting the hat. We've stumped it. We've stumped it. Let's see what it does. Try it again. See how that goes. So let me. Think we can be on a first name terms. You don't have to use my full name. Okay. How's it going there, sir? We are hatless. No, we're not hatless. I think we've stumped it. Is what's going on here. Something's happening with the open AI as we're trying to go out and connect to it. I'm not getting an error message coming back. It's just delayed and not just taking a really long time and not coming back. I can see it taking the picture. I can see it sending it over. But I don't. Yeah, I think we've stumped the AI. This is a hat from the Vegas Golden Knights. So this is their secondary logo. Yeah, there was an error detecting the hat. Really? I'm gonna check out Azure here real quick. So we bounce off of an OpenAI endpoint on Azure that should just wake up, detect, and report back. Like it should be running no problem out there. Welsh Kabagan, hello. You just saw a news article saying ChatGPT is down. Well, this isn't ChatGPT. This is our own endpoint. That we manage. So if I take a look at the metrics here, like this says Azure OpenAI availability rate is 0. That doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right either. No. Yeah, that's real good. You even have real life associates that call you Surly? Okay. Okay. That's a thing. Yeah, there's no alerts on saying it's down over here. I'll go through to the Foundry portal here, and we'll take a look. Oh, my session seems to have expired, and it's not letting me in. Oh. No, it's not letting me in. Yeah. 1 second. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's my resource. 1 second. We'll bring up the playground. Okay. What? Let's take a look here. I'm gonna get some music playing in the background here. This is the Stream Beats Rock playlist. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Use it wherever you'd like. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for this music we're listening to today. Hey, Paradise on YouTube. Hello, you're a big fan from Canada. Oh, that's great. Thank you. We're getting your weather here in Philadelphia. You can take it back now. I'd like it to be a little bit warmer here. Know what I'm saying? It's a little bit cold here. Let me take a look at. Do I have a video about going from? Let me get back to those couple questions in just a second. I just want to. You were an AI assistant, sure. When did Walt Disney build Disneyland? Right, just ask it a dumb question. That's responding. So let's try this John again. There we go. Let's see if it's up, if it's responding, it should come back in like 5 to 10 seconds. And when it takes longer than that, something's not working. And I should get some sort of an error message, and it just kind of hangs and dies. And yeah, I think we've got some sort of an outage out here. Because it is active, but it's not responding. Okay. We'll have to try that again later and see if it's back up. Something's clearly not responding properly. Let me go back over and let's talk to chat for a little bit. Start with this question over here from the Welsh Cabagan. You mentioned there was a news article saying ChatGPT is down. Can you share the link to that? On the fly coding to handle the outage appropriately? No. No. It did come up with an error. No, it did not come up with an error. Actually, oh no, that the Q&A service returned in a 500 internal error. Trying to, yeah, I think there's some AI stuff down out on the Azure. Because it's coming back and saying, yeah, all of my AI calls are coming back with internal errors. Okay. Cymac with a link to the BBC. ChatGPT down as thousands report issues worldwide. Yep, that sounds like a Looking at the ChatGPT status page, increased errors for ChatGPT. ChatGPT. We're working to fix the issue. That's the update. Well, that's nice. I'm glad that you're working to fix the issue. It's good to know that the ChatGPT is doing its thing. Let's answer your questions with a real human here, not a AI thing. I'm going to back up to this question from C# Titan. It's right up here. Regarding the Maui templates, what should one use? There's a .NET Maui app and a .NET Maui multi-project app. Use the Maui app. Multi-project was an older template that we had when way back. If I'm remembering correctly, it was the template that we had folks use to build Maui applications when in the first version that was being released. Like, you shouldn't see that anymore. If you're building with .NET 8, .NET 9, oh no. No, there is one for separate app projects. If you're just starting, no, I'm sorry. If you're just starting, I would use just .NET Maui app. The multi-project app, isolates and puts everything separately for the different operating systems. For most people who are getting started, running everything as one application is really enough for you. Yeah. The multi-project helps with a little bit of organization, and it's a way that Maui was originally being developed and deployed so that you could it was hard to have it build for 4 or 5 different targets, all from one build project. So they fixed that, and now you can do it from one build project. But folks have said, well, I'd like to be able to isolate and only build the Windows version. I'd only like to be able to build the iOS version. And that's what you can do with this. So I would tell you, start with .NET Maui app. And until you get to a more complex application, hang back. You should be able to refactor to the multi-project app. Paradise question here is, do you have a video about going from an idea to a UML or an ER diagram and then into code mini projects? I don't. That type of... I appreciate what you're looking for there. That type of growth, showing... And dear Lord, look at you. Kudos to you up here, Paradise, wanting to do project planning. Project planning? Who the hell does that? No, we don't do that. What you see a lot of folks do in tech these days is there's a vision at the end, and they start off and they try to set up, here's my user stories, and do that Scrum, that lean approach, so that they're building something and it's always something that works and is deliverable. Is it an acceptable product? Maybe. There might be multiple sprints before that minimum viable product is available and you can start charging money for it, and then you can continue iterating with that process so that you deliver. I don't have any kind of content that does that type of... It's not software architecture, but it's project planning. That specifically spends time around project planning. You can watch as I project plan here, and we're going to do a little project planning in just a few minutes with SharpSite, the project that we're currently working on the channel here. Why is it telling me SharpSite's not available? It's right there. It's right there. Like, it's right there. Oh, I know why it's not there. Okay. We'll get back to that in a minute. But a UML and ER diagrams, right? You won't see a lot of folks using those publicly. Particularly folks that are planning and live streaming. because the name of the game on a stream like this is edutainment. Folks that are building and talking on streams like this, we want to entertain you so that you stick around and watch more. Fritz, you're giving away some of our motives here. Yeah, I know. It's okay. So, I'm going to move fast and answer questions and try to get stuff done. I want to start doing a little bit more of a Pomodoro
Robson
technique.
Prieto just resubscribed for 9 months. Good
9
morning,
months.
Fritz.
Good morning. Thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate the 9 months with us. That's going to put you into a green subscriber loyalty hat badge next to your name. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, so you won't see folks outwardly planning. You won't even see folks in open source projects outwardly planning with UML, ER diagrams, entity relationship diagrams. I could generate and put some out there for SharpSite, but who looks at those? So, Paradise has so many ideas. Yes, I run into this a lot. You don't know how to take the idea to a small minimum viable product, an MVP. Like, let's say, going from a to-do list app that requires users, how would one go from an idea to a mini project? Honestly, what you've seen me do here on stream is I start throwing ideas out there as issues, and then I try and group them together and say, well, what are the things that we can pull together and do as a group, and then tag something and say, okay, here's a group of functionality that is done. And that's what I've done with the issues here on SharpSite. And you can get to the GitHub now with the website we generated last time at sharpsite.org. It has a click through to the GitHub. Right, but you can see the milestones here that we've worked through, and this is open source. Anybody is welcome to click through and take a look at this. But you can see that, like, initial minimum viable, the features we worked on, like, we just said, what do we need to build a content management system? Like, let's just throw ideas out there. We just created issues, and we didn't spend time putting a lot of description to it because it was just like, we need a thing. We need an initial homepage. We need a site map. We need posts, the ability to edit posts, some management capabilities here, some GitHub actions to build. We want Markdown supported, so that we can have posts that create an initial blog. And then, okay, that works. Well, now let's give you the ability to create additional content. So we started grouping things together, and hey, we'd like static pages. We'd like to do translation, and we started building translation into this things, RSS and so forth. And we started adding and layering that in. So what I would say to you, Paradise, as a suggestion of what do you do to go from a to-do app to a collaborative project planning task completion app that has user logins. Well, you start thinking through the process. Well, what do you need? Well, you need sign-in pages. You need user management pages. You need, users list pages. You need to have roles so that you have somebody as an admin. You need to be able to grant permissions to interact with things. And you start thinking about what those are, and you just throw them out there. Literally spit them out, put them down somewhere. Folks will use Kanban boards. There's project planning with Kanban boards that you can create here in GitHub, all free to use. But I just throw them into issues. And I'll even start dictating issues. Right? I'll just click, let's create a new issue, and let's start dictating an issue. Right? So I'll open voice access here in Windows. Right? And I'll turn on the mic. We need an issue to keep track of the issues that are an issue. We need an issue to keep track of the issues that are an issue. You're supposed to type that. You make me sad. Man. Like, nothing's working today. Do that again. We need an issue to keep track of the issues that are an issue. It should have features like checkboxes and authorization access and roles that can interact with things and cannot interact with things. And then save. So I'm just dictating, oh, here's another idea, create another issue. And like, not actually planning and grouping things, just what are some of the things that we need, right? Literally, like, just throwing everything that's in my brain about whatever that topic is and getting it written down, and then start grouping it. And you don't have to group everything. Well, what are the first things we need to do? Well, these are dependent on those. And you go through this little bit of project management and figure out how to group things together. And that's a bit of what we do, and you're going to see we're going to do a little bit of that around these couple items that we have remaining for the current milestone. But we also have some items that are out here that are bugs that, you know what, we might want to bring in and work on now. So that's a little bit of my process. It's very unstructured. I am a professional product manager for a $1 trillion company. Thank you very much. So the key thing is getting those tasks, those issues, those concepts documented somewhere so that the project team can see that, pick those up and provide feedback and collaborate.
Warmp is just
Warm Peas
resubscribed
is
for
here.
21 months. Hello friends, C# wave.
Hello, welcome. Good to see you, Warm Peas. Hello. Wampa TV asks, any advice on looking into the Microsoft 365 agents? I don't have any advice because I haven't spent enough time with them yet. The co-pilots I'm finding more and more interesting and compelling as I use them more. We've used Copilot over the last couple streams here. You can check that out in the replays. You can go check out how we've been using Copilot to generate unit tests. We're going to get into doing a little bit more Copilot today to start generating and working with Playwright. I don't know Playwright very well, but we're going to dig into it a little bit here today to start exercising our website so that we can get some feedback. Things are working, things aren't working, and so forth. So I need to spend time with it. So I don't have any advice. Sorry. Let's see here. Alu the Crow says, I don't want to be entertained. I want to learn Java on a channel called C# Fritz. That's right. There you go. Ads on Twitch are going to start in about 5 minutes if you're watching on YouTube. No ads for you as far as I know. So, Digital Drummer Jay says in GitHub, yep, there's a project board under the projects tab that you could help to organize things together. I use a notebook called Obsidian. I use Obsidian notebooks extensively. I pay for a subscription there because it's a fantastic tool that you can use to keep track of notes and have your notes, your content reference each other very cleanly. So I literally have a diary, a journal that I've been keeping in Obsidian Notes for the past 3-4 years that has all kinds of stuff that I've done every day, summarizing things that I've worked on, information about projects that I've built. But Obsidian has plugins for other services. So I have Obsidian hooked up to Trello, and for some of the projects that I work on, I manage in Trello, and it flows back over into my Obsidian notes. And there's interesting ways back and forth to work on that. But GitHub Actions and GitHub Issues, GitHub Projects are a great way to manage free online. So Trello is also free. There's some premium features you can buy there as well. John McGuire, hello. When Mike is not in today, who's Mike? Who's Mike? Mike? Where's Mike? I work for Scott. Mike? Who's Mike? Is it Ben Jadou? Hello, pro engineers thinking here. Absolutely. We are professionals here. What is this project? I don't know. You could click the link in the description just below and you can find out more about it. SharpSite is a content management system that we're building together. You can learn more at our did I spell SharpSite right? I don't think I did. No, I did. You can learn more at our very slim website that we generated. It's right there in chat. The Restream bot copied it across. You can click through to that and take a look, and there's links, like I said, to the GitHub and links back to YouTube and Twitch. We're going to start summarizing and putting videos out there, introducing SharpSite and walking through some of the process that we're going. But this is all open source. Folks are contributing who are hanging out in chat. You can download, you can follow along. If there's things that I'm building here that you find interesting, by the licensing of the source code, you are welcome to copy and use that however you see fit. Zinnia88 says, in early planning, write down everything, even if the task might seem like might be the same or conflict with another task. Yes,
Funk 21
totally
just
agree.
Chris
Funk is here.
43 months. Goodman ring everyone from Ice Planet, Texas.
Oh my gosh, how is the cold there? It is 8 degrees, 17 now here in the suburbs of Philadelphia, where I am. So it is really cold. Hype train is on. We are at level 1 with 4.5 minutes to go. Thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Let me see here. But if Zinnia makes it is, where is it? Somewhere up here. Yeah, there it is. In early planning, write down everything. No idea is a bad idea. When you're in a brainstorm, I wouldn't even say Zinnia, let me just extend your point a little bit, and I would say in a planning cycle. So in early planning, there are no bad ideas, right? Like, just write it down. Somebody has an idea, okay, write it down. Because we're going to qualify and organize those and prioritize them. If it's a bad idea, it'll be pushed lower and pushed off as something perhaps that we'll reconsider in the future. It put into a back burner where on a future planning cycle, we might look at it and say, you know what? Yeah, that's not... At that second review, say, yeah, this isn't something we're going to do, and pitch it. I'm a firm believer on never throwing out an idea. A suggestion, an idea is always valuable. I'm never going to... never's the wrong word. It's going to be a few planning cycles before I look at those things that we said, this isn't a high priority, and pitch them. There are other more aggressive project managers who will throw things out immediately. No, I don't like that. Go on. I like to keep things around because that idea, while we review it, might inspire another idea that, oh, that makes more sense than this. Let's go do this thing. And the reason that Zinnia, that I'm going to say look at planning cycles is that you're going to do project planning up front, some brainstorming up front, absolutely. But after a few sprints, after a delivery or two, you're going to go back and do another round of planning. Why does it say ad? Somebody snoozed the ads. What happened there? So folks are going to come back and you're going to come back around and run another plan. And during that planning cycle, you're brainstorming, write everything down. Digital Drummer J says, I haven't seen the bugs tab in GitHub before. I have a plugin installed in Firefox. Called Refined GitHub. It's available in the other browsers as well. Yeah, here it is. So this is called Refined GitHub. It's a browser extension that simplifies the GitHub interface and adds useful features. So it's available in all the browsers. Chrome and Chromium browsers like Edge, Firefox, including Firefox Android. It's available on Safari. So this is... I like to use this because it does improve my GitHub experience. It'll do things like help automatically delete branches after I do a pull request merge as well. So, all right, let me head back. I have a bunch more questions here. I love this. Let me continue here. C Sharp Titan asks, if I wasn't working for Microsoft, what would I be doing? Would I still use Visual Studio? I think I'd still be using Visual Studio. I think I'd be writing C Sharp. I think I would be live streaming, and I think I'd lean in a little bit more to do more live streaming, influencing, writing, building, training materials, consulting. I would be doing a lot more consulting. Somebody posted on Twitter a couple months ago that I have the personality. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Folks, somebody wrote that I have the personality. I certainly have the voice that consulting. I could do a bang up job. I could do a real good job selling, talking to customers, and presenting and helping them with solutions. And I'm flattered by that. A long time ago I consulted, but it's not something that I currently do. Happy to talk to folks and work through their problems. So. Benjadu says they made an EF Core driver for libSQL support databases. We'll be launching it today. Any recommendations? Cool. That's great. You have a NuGet package you're publishing. I publish a blog post that talks about it to somewhere that folks are going to find it, not just your blog, but send a copy over to like dev.to or Medium and have the canonical links point back to your blog that describes it. I'm assuming you have a blog somewhere. But promote and get the word out. Social media, blog posts. If you can record a video, a little 2 to 5 minute video that shows what makes your driver so great, that'd be really cool to share. How you doing there, Mythin? Hello. C Sharp Titan with a follow-up question here. How does Obsidian compare to OneNote? You can't add references in OneNote between notes. The ability in Obsidian to link notes together, writing Markdown, an extensive plugin ecosystem is amazing. Highly recommend for all of those things. There's all kinds of ways that folks have extended Obsidian to do different things. I mentioned integrating with Trello. There's integrations with GitHub. There's integrations with OpenAI. There's integrations to add calendars and task lists and all kinds of things into Obsidian. Comes with this amazing graphing tool that will show the network of how your notes relate to each other. You can put tags on your notes so that you can go and search for a tag and it will show you all the notes that have that tag. It has this great feature in Obsidian for backlinks. So because I can relate this note to that note, what I do, I have notes that are the various contacts and folks that I work with. So I of course have right. I have a note for what's that guy's name? Scott. Him. And I keep daily notes I mentioned in a journal. So Scott. Yeah, him. So I've got a folder that is just my daily notes. So when I have my meeting with Scott, there is an entry on my daily note, meeting with Scott, but I link to Scott's name to his card. So then when I need to go back and, what was that thing I was talking to Scott about? I can go to Scott's note and I see every place that I talk to him, and it becomes easy to click through and see that relationship of when I last talked to Scott. When was that thing that I talked to him about? And it gives me that reference. There's an amazing search engine built into Obsidian that is really, really good. But it saves everything as markdown on disk. So everything is really, really small. And you can sync it then with Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive, whatever drive syncing tech you're using. And now you have backups on all your machines and in the cloud. And the files are very, very small. Like, if I go to my Obsidian notebooks that I'm saving here right now, right? Like, my biggest notebooks here that I've been keeping for 3-4 years are 18 meg. Now, that includes all kinds of images that I've jammed into this thing. So if I exclude the images, and I'm purposely not showing you the folder here. Sorry, friends. There's some things that I've got to keep to myself. Really, it's still 15 meg. Where's the... Like, each one of these notes is, like, less than 10K. Yeah, where the heck are the... Oh, you know what? Hang on. It's this thing, isn't it? Yeah, there it is. So there's a folder that Obsidian keeps that has all the plugins and things. So if I look at just the content that I've written, is 2.3 meg. And there's another like 15 meg of the various plugins and things that it's installed. Yeah. Yeah, and there's all kinds of junk over there that it adds in. It's really, really nice. And Obsidian is free for anybody to use to get started. But I think it's worth it for what I pay $100 a year for the subscription that gives me extra syncing over to my phones and tablets. If you come to an event now, like I'm going to see folks at Svitog in Stockholm in a week and a half. I'll have my tablet on me that's running Obsidian, and if I need to take notes to go back and do later, I take notes in Obsidian right there in front of you. So, how you doing there, Dr. Cox? Hello, hello. What about using sequence diagrams? I don't use sequence diagrams, no. I'm the best C# teacher in South Philadelphia. Hey, it was Philadelphia, born and raised. On the playground, I spent most of my days chilling out, maxing, relaxing after school. I was shooting some b-ball, and without the music, I can't do any more of it. But yes, I am the Fresh Prince of .NET. Is that a thing? Can we make that a thing? I don't know. You've got a tricky question for me, says Dr. Cox. How would you best catch if the user is inactive in Blazor server? I've looked at a custom circuit handler. There is create inbound activity handler in there, but that also triggers on the heartbeat. I would put a timer on the page. I would put a timer in a base page in somewhere in the routing. Ads just kicked on here on Twitch, but I would add a timer. And we actually did this. We did this in a Blazor puzzle. I would add a timer, and if the mouse doesn't move, if there's no keystrokes, after a certain amount of time, boom. So, but the timer's running on Blazor's server. I would put it in. I would add a WebAssembly component that does that. That way, it's running. You're sure it's running in the browser. And I mean, you could do it with JavaScript also, and then you don't need the WebAssembly component. But I would add some sort of a timer that runs in the browser that detects that there's been no mouse movement, no keystrokes, no navigation for X amount of time, and then bump folks out. You see this type of browser timeout on like bank websites, financial websites, where there is there is pseudo personal, well, not pseudo, but personal information that folks could see if they looked over your shoulder. Clayton is watching over there on YouTube. How you doing there, Clayton? Welcome. As a big fan of open source, what do I think of libsql? Hang on, let me make sure let me make sure I know what you're talking about before I say anything here. Yes, this is the SQLite fork that folks have picked up and are running with. I'm not sold on libsql yet. Ads are still running. I'm going to wait to answer this. There we go. And we're back. Monum Benjadu asks, what do I think of libsql? SQLite, so libsql is based on, let's go over to the thing. Right? This is libsql. Right? SQLite is the most deployed database in the world. It's just a file, right? We've used SQLite a lot. We've used it on stream here for all kinds of things. But what this does is it's saying, let's take it and make servers out of this. And make it a distributed database and scale it up. It's an interesting idea to take that technology and scale it up. It is. And building with Rust. Oh, good for you. Not that. So what? Like that doesn't sell me one way or the other. Hey, great, it's built with Rust. Should it be built with Go? C++? It doesn't matter to me. Rust, sure. If you're happy with Rust, be happy. I think I haven't been sold. I haven't tried it yet. The concern that I've always had with SQLite, it's the same concern I have with using Access databases, is when you get into multi-user mode, you're going to have more than one person locking the database. That's just because it's one file. You've got one file. You're going to run into lock issues. So it sounds like they've worked around that. They've got a direction to go with this. I need to spend more time on it. I've only seen a cursory level discussion of what libsql is. I haven't had a reason to dive in and learn more. So hearing that there's going to be an entity framework driver for this, I'd be interested in seeing a little bit more and diving in a little bit more on this. SQLite for production, I've heard some of the concepts of, well, you have a SQLite database per user. Well, okay. Now we're thrashing on disk by adding multiple database files. I'm curious to see how they get around some of the limitations of it's just a file on disk. And when you go to try to scale, how do you do that? So, something to learn more about later. But I appreciate what they're trying to do. I appreciate it. That's an admirable goal. So, you can't draw in Obsidian. So, folks, there are add-ins that do allow you to. So, OneNote you can draw in. I don't know many people who do draw in OneNote. Rick, how you doing there? Rick V. DeBosch, hello. Nope. The Smirking Squiggly, the Restream bot copies back and forth. An Excalidraw, that's the one. Yep. Suppose someone just finished learning C#, says Paradise over there on YouTube, and says, and they want to build a small MVP project but never used a web framework. What would be the next steps to take? Any recommendations? You're going to start learning ASP.NET. Do you have any HTML knowledge? I would go learn some HTML. We're going to try the hat again? All right, let's give it a shot. OpenAI has been having a little bit of an issue this morning. So it's not been... None of my AI features have been responding quickly here from the Microsoft Azure. But you've learned C#. I would go get your HTML knowledge underneath you so you know that, little CSS. And I would... Then you're going to be learning ASP.NET is the tool to use. At that point, you're now looking at a series of different user interfaces to work with. I would have said Razor Pages is the way to go. Simple, easy to follow, but Blazor is where we're recommending folks go at this point. Yeah, I'm getting 500 errors coming back from OpenAI right now. Hey, DJ Blizzard, you've been using Obsidian since it was in early beta as an early adopter, been paying for sync and commercial license since, and you love it. Same here. The graphing, you can graph anything that Mermaid supports. Yes! Yes! Let me go back over to chat. Yes! It's really cool. I am a big fan of Obsidian, and yeah, I've got hundreds of notes in my primary work journal notebook that I use. Hey there, McNets. Chris Funk asks, with Azure Functions, what would my counter argument be to a stakeholder that is concerned with lock-in? You're going to be locked in if you go with Lambda. What, like, lock-in? What is lock-in? Like, what does... Is it vendor lock-in? Is it cloud lock-in? Is it framework lock-in? Like, if you're building... To the question of Azure Functions, if you're building APIs that folks can interact with, well, okay, if you're concerned about lock-in on those, then build all of your business logic in class libraries and turn the Azure Functions into just a very thin layer that calls into those class libraries. That does several things for you. It gives you a little bit of portability, and you can unit test your class libraries that have your actual business logic without having to run the Azure Functions runtime. That's actually really good. You're asking a Microsoft person about it who's actually really pragmatic about it, to the point that, quite frankly, some of my colleagues hate me. Exceldro, oh my goodness, hello. It's good to see you. Welcome. And yes, I think I mentioned I have the pronouns plugin linked just below on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, if you're watching, there's a plugin that you can set up that will add plugins next to your plugins. There's a plugin that you can install in your browser that will add pronouns next to your name so that I know the appropriate pronouns to use when your name pops up there, particularly if you're someone who's sensitive to which pronouns to use. That helps me out a little bit so I know how to address you. And if you're somebody who wants to support those folks who have pronouns that they would prefer and share, and you want to show your support for them, adding that little pronoun plugin is going to help show that support. And I want to make sure that I every now and again call that out because there's a couple folks that are using it. I see most folks are not currently using it, and that's okay too. I'm no requirement to use it, but if you do use one of the pronoun plugins, I will address you properly. So just store the databases in RAM. Yeah, Blazor, that's right, Eddie. DJ Blizzard says you could try to abstract as much of your business logic as possible, so the tie into the function triggers is limited. Yep, there you go. The folks who are working on... What's the name of the project? Oh my gosh, it is Code Factory. The folks who work on Code Factory, this is their MO also. It's somewhere up there now. Of refactor, they have a very strong architecture that they build and work with, where all of their business logic they put into classes, very prescribed class structure, and they'll use the Code Factory tool to generate user interfaces that are Azure Functions, that are Blazor components, Razor pages, minimal API endpoints that interact with those business objects. They'll generate then the entity framework contexts and the ways that they need to interact with, and they do that all with their Code Factory tool. Really, really cool tool that they do. But DJ Blizzard, we're on the same page with adding a little abstraction. Software tools with a question here. Do I believe Zuck that we're all going to be replaced by AI in 2025? No, Mark Zuckerberg is a pompous idiot. He's a pompous idiot, and he proves it again and again and again. The Oculus product is the best thing to come out of Meta, and they didn't even invent it. It came out of Carmack. John Carmack was one of the folks who was originally working on Oculus. Zuckerberg is out of his league. He's out of his league. He doesn't know how to bring folks into new technologies easily. Facebook took off because there was MySpace. Without MySpace, folks wouldn't have jumped onto Facebook. Yeah, there's the error message. So there you go. Dropping the big bomb. How's the AI going to affect us in the future? I take it make a big concern for people, especially after what Mark Zuckerberg. No, like I said, Zuckerberg is a pompous windbag. And we'll do some of this today. I've been using Copilot to help generate unit tests. Copilot as an assistant to help you write your code. We used Copilot Tuesday to generate a website. It was okay. It did some really cool stuff. It did some stuff we weren't expecting. It generated a GeoCities website for us, complete with spinning logos and neon pink backgrounds. Yeah. So there's places where it's good, but the term Copilot perfectly describes how we should be interacting with AI. It's an assistant. Don't hand over complete interaction to it. I forget who it was who was saying the other day that they had a couple of AI agents sitting in a chat room together in a workspace, and they're collaborating, a developer AI that was doing this and a QA AI that was doing that, and they're collaborating with each other, but they still needed to step in and make sure that they were on task and doing the things that they were assigned to do. You still need to manage the AI and accept what it delivers. It's not a panacea. It's not going to do all the things for you. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. 941 notes in your Obsidian. Didn't realize it had gotten that big. Are we going to do this? Do I need to count how many notes are in my Obsidian? Like, I can do that. Like, it's my journal. I don't mind grabbing and taking a look here. Sure. I'll do a quick count here. Nope, I 353. Yeah. Vendor lock-in. Yeah, you're add a layer of abstraction, and then your business logic. You then will just build that. Have to rebuild that connection. If it's Azure Functions to Azure Function, if it's a minimal API to the minimal API, your class library that has your business logic, Chris Funk, you'll be able to move and deploy to minimal API running in Azure Container Apps, deploy it to a Kubernetes cluster, put a Azure Functions stub in front of that, a facade in front of that. It runs in Azure Functions. Put a Lambda in front of it. It'll run on AWS Lambda. So you have flexibility there. So, is it Beksod? Hello there on YouTube in Uzbekistan. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Paradise says, suppose you know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. How quickly can you create a small project for user registration and logins? 30 seconds. I know some frameworks like Django, they refer to it as batteries included. Is ASP different? No, it's included. Like 30 seconds. In fact, I will do that right now. Let's do it. You want to add a website with user registration and logins? Watch this. Watch this. Great new project. I'm going to do it with Blazor Web App. Sure, we'll call it Blazor. No. I'm going to call this Paradise Logins. All right? Just so you know, it's not me, like, doing shenanigans here. Authentication type, there we go. Server, sure, that's fine. Include the sample pages. In fact, we'll even turn on Aspire orchestration for this. Let's go. Done. Done. And I've got Aspire orchestration complete with telemetry, service discovery, durability built in, metrics, distributed traces. Done. It took me, what, 5 seconds, 10 seconds? Chat, grab a clip of that. We've got a dashboard here. We can take a look. Right. There's my distributed log. I can see traces. I haven't run anything yet. I can see metrics for what the website is doing. It's all right there. Go back over. We can go to the website. There it is. And I'll be able to log in right here once I set up my database. I can register and set that up as well. There's plugins that'll allow me to go and configure automatic login with third-party services, your GitHub login, your Twitch login, your YouTube login that you can drop in here, and it automatically adds it over here once you drop in the configuration keys. Done. So the app is all right there, and if I go over to my metrics, I can see exactly what's going on and be able to take a look at all the information about running my application. Done and done and done. It's part of the template. And you can configure it how you see fit. Deploy it to Windows, Mac, and Linux. Run it in containers. Run it on your favorite cloud. It's all built in. Zinnia is currently having to use OneNote for ages starting on Notion. Okay. You really like for tagging. So Obsidian has some great tags and grouping capabilities, and you can there's a tag panel that you can move around, so you can search through tags and go find. It'll show you all those tags. There's some great stuff there. The sync is end-to-end encrypted. Yep. So, but you can, right, if you don't want to buy the sync service from the Obsidian folks, you can, like I said, you can have it saved to OneNote, to OneDrive, Google Drive, what have you, Dropbox. But yeah, OneNote and Notion are both technology lock-in. So is Loop, for that matter. Eric says AI agent will become helpers, not replace. Yes, and we saw Tuesday It's the AI is only as intelligent as you train it for. And here's the thing. There's a lot of dumb humans out there that we've got their content training the AIs. Carix, hello. Thank you for the follow. Have I tried Grok? No. I given his behavior over the last few months, I'm not in the mood to support Herr Musk. That's not going to be happening, so I'm not going to be using Grok. No. That's similar to how you feel, software tools? Okay. No, I don't think that was mean. I don't think that comment was mean. You're okay. So that's Surly Dev points out here, I built a web app. As we've learned from the International Standards Organization, those ISO people, what we call web applications, they call the online browsing platform. Hey, thank you, Surly Dev, for the clip. There we go. That's you? You're a dumb human? No, you're not. No. You're happy that you discovered it? Oh, cool, Paradise. Hey, and so here's the thing, Paradise. SharpSight, the application that we're building, has all of that stuff built in. We'll dig into it some, and we've even gone and built a plugin subsystem for it, and we're building that out. So it's coming, it's growing, and you can follow along. It's all open source. Marcelo, never change it. Thank you. Thank you. Right there. Tell your friends, tell your families, tell your pets. I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays and most other days of the week also. So, Saturdays and Sundays I take off. You're in a phase where you're trying to find a good note app that lets you tag in group notes. Since Obsidian is free, Zinnia, like, download it, take a look. Right? No commitment. It doesn't. The install is easy to remove. Download it and take a look. You might be surprised. John over on YouTube says Copilot could easily replace them, except for making the coffee. No. No, you're better than that. Carix asks, have I used Ollama? Yes. You've tried Aspire hosting Ollama, but used some additional container, not always working. It does. The Aspire Community Toolkit has an Ollama plugin, an Ollama integration that you can add, and it does set up another container, and it does have to download a model, and the models are really big. So if you're going to use Ollama with .NET Aspire, set up to that persistent running container. Turn on that container lifetime so that it's not always stopping and starting the container. Like, I have Ollama running on the Metal here on this machine. I've also run it in the container. I absolutely see what you're talking about. Try turning on the container persistence on that, and that should help. Let me know if you're not familiar with that feature, and I can show you it real quick here in SharpSight. Hell, what am I saying? Let's just go and I'll show you what I'm referring to, and we can dig into that. I remember what I was giggling about and saying, oh yeah, we can't do that. Let me head over and we can take a quick look at this. Let me jump back into the SharpSight folder. So I have this is Windows Terminal, of course, and I'm running on a dev drive here. Okay, this is a memory optimized drive that has a bunch of the checks turned off on it. So the I currently have it in my GitHub Pages branch. That's why there's no source code here. Fine. Jump back over to my 0.6 work stream branch, and now if I go back over, oh wait a sec, I can just do it here. Not Los. Start SharpSite SLN, and that starts Visual Studio, and we can take a look, and I can comment quickly on come on, zoom back to 100%. Thank you. Jump back over to Program CS for the app host. So if you're not familiar with the container lifetime feature of .NET Aspire, it's right here when you add a resource. So I added a Postgres database, and I can say go ahead and persist that container. Don't knock it down and restart it every time the application starts and stops. So .NET Aspire gives us this ability to bring in integrations that might be running in containers, stitch them together without having to build any extra configuration, connect OpenTelemetry, and get the logging, tracing, the metrics reporting, be able to do service discovery across it, all of these things, resiliency built into the .NET Aspire platform. Robson asks, am I using TagZap to read the chat messages? No. However, I have been taking some of the features from TagZap and adding it to Charlie. Charlie is the next generation bot that I am rebuilding to replace the Fritz bot that'll run in channel. And when I activate Charlie, hopefully next week, it will be able to handle the questions and managing the interactions with chat for me. So Project Charlie's coming up, and when I'm suitably far along there, I will release the source code to Charlie. You thought Copilot has been integrated with all the 365 tooling? It has, Eric, yes. And subscription prices are going up slightly. It's like another $10 or something like that. King Klars is getting back into C# after learning Golang for a year. It's a good time. What did you think of Golang? As somebody who was a C# developer, went over to Golang, coming back over to C#, King Klars, what did you think of your experience with Golang? How do you compare the two? Because I do hear a lot of folks saying, "Oh, let's go use Go. It's you know, it's a language that does so much more. It's lower level, blah blah blah." What do you think? I'm curious to hear your take going back and forth. You would like to see that feature, please? The container lifetime, is that what you're talking about, Surly? See, I didn't use your full name that time. Take a look at a plugin called Tag Wrangler that gives helper tools to manage tagging. Yes. YAML headers are... So the Tag Wrangler, it helps you to automatically add tags. I forget, it does a couple other things also. But I like to use folders as my top-level organization and then tags after that. So I don't use as many tags. The YAML headers have been able to create additional properties and things. I don't use those as much, though. But the backlinks are the big one that I use. I turn on show backlinks on all of my notes so that I can relate things back and forth. And that allows me to work on a project. And on a project's specific note, I put timestamps in there. Here's a date stamps that refers back to my daily note. So when I go and I say, well, what did I accomplish last week? I can look at the daily notes and see the links over to the various projects where I worked on things. So Fritzbot is retiring. Yes. So Project Charlie hopefully will start next week. The user interface is about halfway done. Yeah. It was very interesting to compare Go's concurrency model to .NET's. I've seen that. Yeah. Oh, good. All right. Thank you, Surly. Golang is great. Favorite error handling from any language. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the Code with Sean, you have an event tonight. It's I remember seeing who you have speaking, and I can't remember who it was. Quentin Brown, hello. What's good, programmer? I don't know. What's good chatter? Is that a thing? King Clark's really liked Golang. It took a while to get used to not writing object-oriented programming structured code. Really enjoyed the challenge of learning a new paradigm. Can see myself using it for smaller CLI personal projects. Okay. Mythin with a question regarding Key Vault. Is there any way to inside GitHub to add a secret to one of my bicep files as generated by Aspire? The thing I want to avoid is run my action to deploy my solution, wait for Key Vault to get created, and then very quickly add my secrets so that my migration application can start creating things like the database. You can add secrets to your GitHub Actions. So GitHub Actions can take secrets that will be hidden and not shown in the logs. But I'm not sure. Like, you can point to a Key Vault and say, use that Key Vault. And your migration application, you can tell it to wait for the database. That's something that I have in the Aspirify.net source code. Wait for the database to be running and then run. So. There we go. Tom Jones, that's right. I see the What's New Pussycat. Yeah? Is there any way to enrich with a custom function VS Copilot so it can ask for code? I haven't seen a way to enrich the GitHub Copilot. However, it will recognize the other files that you have open and use those as context for the questions that you're asking it to do. Right? It knows that it's running inside of the scope of a solution of a project, and it will consider that content, but it will prioritize. Ooh, look at the yellow. Ooh. It will consider and prioritize that you're working on. So, all right. Let me dive back in over here. We can talk more about SharpSight and the project here. And darn it, let's write some code. Know what I'm saying here? Know what I'm saying? Let me get back over to there. There it is. So I'm working on milestone 0.6 that involves a bunch more customization capabilities. We've added the initial unit tests for this, and you can see them over here in my GitHub Actions. If I choose the ones that aren't the GitHub pages, we go down here. So we have a test summary that is being published. Right, this is a GitHub Action. GitHub Action. What is it called? Integration. A GitHub Action thing. What are they called? It's not a plugin. It's a step. It's a, I don't know what you call it, right? But it's a GitHub Action that we've added in that will collect the results from my tests, publishes a nice little summary document here that we can move forward and use. I'd like to get the list of tests here added to the README here so that folks can see, hey, this number of tests were run against the project. Ads are kicking in there on Twitch. Minute 45 remaining in the tests over there. What's the website working on? Check out the link just below on YouTube. Sharpsight.org is the website that you can click to go to learn more. There it is. It's got a big logo. But you can click into the GitHub repository to learn more. It's a very simple website at this point because it doesn't have a lot of features completed yet that with screenshots that we want to show off and encourage folks. So you can click in, get into the repository here and poke around. Mythin says, I have a GitHub action that uses several secrets to deploy the application, but I basically mean use a GitHub action besides the one that is deploying the application that can upload secrets to the key vault. I think it's doing the publish secrets to the key vault right up top. Like the AZD action that's running in your GitHub, the AZD command that's running in your GitHub action is publishing things to Key Vault. Right? So if we go over to another website that I built here on stream, called aspirify.net. I've got a bunch of issues here to address. But if we take a look at the workflow, there is a deploy workflow that I have here. Log in with Azure, restore workloads. One of these two, I forget if it's the provision or the deploy, will load up Key Vault with any secrets that have been added there. Rick! 7 months with us. Thank you so much for the support. Appreciate you bringing that Twitch Prime to the project. Thank you to the channel. Thank you so much for that support. Will I see you in 2 weeks at Svetog? I'm not sure if that's on your schedule, but anybody that's going to be in Stockholm for the Svetog conference, 10 days out, I have some content that I'll be presenting and showing there. I'm actually going to talk about aspirify.net at this event. If the website would load. I'd like to see it now. Hello? They broke it. Okay. It's not running right now. Unfortunately, no. Okay. Will I be in Redmond at the end of March? Yes, I will. Yes, I will. That's MVP Summit at the end of March. I will be at the Microsoft MVP Summit. I no longer run that event. However, I will be helping with some of the presentation and interactions and whatnot going on there. More on the whatnot. So, but I do have some other meetings and things going on that week. Catch up and get a drink. I have a feeling there's going to be many drinks to be had in the evenings in Redmond, Washington. Where was I? Ah, yes. So I'd like to get a little report doodad popping up here that says the number of tests that have passed and get that added in. That provision statement is right there. I should probably just look into how I can use that to upload secrets to your key vault. The secrets it's uploading are in your bicep file. There is steps there that it's doing that will help with that. Wise Otter with the big dance emote. Yeah. Man, I'm liking the music here today. You know what I'm saying? All right. Moving on. No. Give me a second here. I was mentioning aspirify.net. This website. There it is. So I've been keeping this up to date with all the latest news. No, I don't want to. I want. Yeah, there it is. There you go. All the latest news about .NET Aspire I've been posting here. There's links to videos, links to podcasts, all kinds of information. If you want to learn more about .NET Aspire, you can find here. So much so, right? There is so much good stuff out here that the .NET Aspire team has a bot that grabs the RSS from this and adds it into Teams for them. So they're reading Aspirify.net to learn more about .NET Aspire. So this was built with .NET Aspire, built with Blazor, published, shared. It's got a little search engine on it that uses Azure Cognitive Search to search the content here and bring back and share information. So we had a lot of fun building that. There's more to do there. I'm probably going to take 2 of the container apps and turn them into Azure Functions and get those published probably over the weekend or early next week, so that I can significantly reduce the footprint that Aspirify.net is using. If I can reduce the number of containers that are using, then it becomes easier to manage and grow in the future. Bicep files are there, which was the original question. Okay. How to put those secrets in the bicep files? They're stored. I forget exactly where they're stored, but you can use AZD to set those secrets, and it will set them and allocate them in the bicep files. I forget exactly how to do that, but there's a way to use AZD to add secrets. Sets a configuration. There's a way to do it as a secret. We'll have to log in. There's 5 places that it mentions secrets. Yeah. There's a way to do it. I'm off the top of my head, I don't know what it is, but you can use the command line to set those secrets, and they get written, hashed, and placed somewhere. I forget exactly how it works, but there is a way to do that. Yep, the parameter files you can populate from env. There's a handful of ways to do it, but GitHub secrets are a great way to do it. Will AZD work with GitHub Actions? Yes. Right, let me go back to GitHub.com, C# Fritz, Aspirify net website. Okay. This is building and deploying using AZD. Like, it installs AZD, right? And it's deploying from GitHub Actions. So take a look at AZD pipeline config, and it will walk you through setting up a GitHub action, setting up the bicep files for all the things that you need to deploy your application. So, all right. I wanted to do just a little doc gimmicky thing here. To right here. Oh, there it is. There it is. Right there. See this right here? I want to create that little tests pill shield to go on the Sharp site README so that folks can see, oh yeah, it's being tested. It's being tested. There you go, DJ Blizzard. Thank you. Right. What's important to me, and I hope you see from my interactions here on stream, while I might not have all the answers, I can at least get you pointed in the right direction or over to a piece of documentation or a tool that will help get your problem solved and lead you in the right direction here. Like, there's no guarantees that anything that this guy is saying is 100% accurate, but I try and show and demonstrate as much as I can to get you there. So, But I want to generate this little test pill here. And there's a thing that you can add. Right, so yeah, he does, that's fine, and this, and I say he, it might be they, I don't know. Upload test results, where is it? They do a thing. Funding YAML. Hey. I don't see it. There's a recommendation to help generate that shield. A little bit of code to do that. Create a badge from test results. Hey. And there's an example workflow YAML to add on to the end of this. So I've already got something like this, and they add on just a couple of things here, and you have to create a gist for it to upload into. I'd like to get these couple pieces in here and then added to the README, right? There's something. There's a certain amount of bragging that comes in. Yes, and then that comes with having, right, a bunch of these shields out here that say, "Hey, look, it's working." Like, I don't know about workflows, but eventually when we have Docker containers, sure. I don't know what that is. The release version, sure. I don't need all these operating system bits here, but CI/CD passing, sure. But the tests, sure. But this one, where's this coming from? This is right. Isn't there a way to? Hey, great statuses. I thought there was a way. Yeah, create status badge, right? So I'd like to get a couple of those status badges going across here, so that it can, yeah, give a warm and fuzzy. Yeah, thank you, 404. That's a good way to describe it. So just a simple thing to get us started, to warm things up. My gosh, we're 2 hours in here, an hour and a half in, and I'm still just running my mouth on some of these things. All right. Where should I start? It's in the actions, and it's the .NET build is the one that I'm particularly concerned about, and it's somewhere up here. Create status badge. Don't mind if I do. Branch, default branch. Sure. Wow. Well, hey. .NET build passing. Well, okay. Sure, copy the markdown. So then if I go back to the front page, and I'll put this right on the main branch. There's the all contributors, right? The contributors badge, and I'll put that in there. I'll call this .NET build and test. See, they're like, I don't want them. I want them next to each other, man. Can I like, can I put it right next to it by doing something like that? No. Go back over here. Show me what yours looks like. No, I don't want to fork it. I want to look at the markdown. Yeah, they're just right next to each other. So maybe we'll be okay there. Commit. Added CI badge to README. I can't commit it, gotta do fine. CI badge. Yeah. Do it. 2 hours, but great discussions. I agree. Merge that, John. Get it in there. Delete that branch. Yeah, it's on the second line. That's fine. Okay. Let me go over to the 0.6. Go ahead and merge that in. Yep, good. Probably shouldn't have squashed and merged because now that's gonna be goofy. Who dat? Welcome. Thank you for the follow. All right. So now that's on the 0.6 release branch. So now I can put next to this tests, right? So, right, it was somewhere over here and down here, the symbols, configuration. Create a badge, one of these Johns. I've been saying John too much recently. I am so sorry. So it wants me to create a gist. So right, I have to create a gist. I have to create a personal access token with gist permission only. All right. Hey, look at some of that stuff. And let's call this no. Sharpsight unit test badge. Right? Can I create that as a secret? Secret? Intentionally blank. How's that? All right. So I need to create a token, personal access token. You spelled token wrong. With gist permission only. Okay. So I'll go in here. Settings. Personal access tokens. Sure. Hey, look at the stuff I've got there. Generate a new token. Don't mind if I do. Let's get logged in and dox myself all at the same time because it feels wonderful. And we're going to call this gist access for Sharpsight unit test badge. There you go. Okay, sure, I'm the owner. Expiration, never. Yeah. that. Sure. Count permissions. It said to add gist access. Gists. Access. Read and write. Generate the token. And it's somewhere in there. Doesn't have the whole thing visible. Good. And it wants me to go create a GitHub Action secret named Gist Token. Don't mind if I do. Settings on the project. Actions. Secrets and variables. There they are. For the actions. Secrets. Is it a secret environment variable? Is it a secret? Okay. Is it environment or a repository, or is it a variable? I'm going to do this. Just token. Don't show it on screen. Don't show it. There it is. All right. Now you won't see it. All right. You have a gist to reset the root password of Ubuntu when you forget it. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. This is the location that I'm going to be writing to. Let's grab the rest of those instructions. So publish unit test results. So I think, if I understand this correct, I can do that. Let's go back over to code. I need to be on 06. Edit this file. See, I didn't call John there. So publish test results right there. And I'll just paste that in. Oh, I'm going to have to do the stupid space thing here. Can't tell if it's lined up right. And thank you, YAML. No, that's not lined up right. Can't tell if that's lined up right or not. Guess that's right. Yeah, Tamil. Oh, man, there's a throwback. All right. Why doesn't it like that? Bad indentation. Why don't you tell me where it should be indented then? Right, now these aren't indented right. Stinks. So it's only going to do this for a master branch. It's so handy. Okay. This I think that's right. Yeah. I think that's right. Hey, it'd be great if we could make spaces visible. That's not a thing. Added test badge generation. Sure, test badge. Because I also need to put it on the README. Sure. Okay. Then you can use the badge with this URL. So the way that they have it, because it's right there, right? What? What happened to the... Here. Test results. And it's going to come off of this instead. And it was badge.svg. Let's see if it works this time. Maybe. Maybe. It wasn't working earlier. There's a bunch of my OpenAI stuff wasn't responding. Yeah, I don't think it's coming back. So, right, let's go here, back. Yeah, badge SVG is the name of the file that it writes. No, I don't want to create a new branch for this. Yeah, leaf page. Yep. Added badge to README. I need to take this. Give me 1 second here, friends. All right, all right. Let's take a look back over here. There's a red warning tonight for Ireland? Yeah, there's an error with ChatGPT services right now. Don't know what it is. But the ChatGPT isn't responding properly. So this looks like it has the pieces that we needed, and as is the way with all DevOps things, we're rolling the bones and see if it works. So that's now merged in, and it won't generate. Wait a second. It's gonna set that. It's gonna create the badge. But it won't necessarily upload the badge. Oh, and it says master. I don't have a master branch here. It's a main branch. I could force this to run with 0.6 for right now. Right, and we should see this. I would have to force it to run. Let's go back. I need to... Let's change this to the 0.6. Oh, I'm on the wrong branch. Here. V0.6. It should have been main, because I don't use the primary branch name master. I use main as the name of my primary branch. Okay. Commit directly into 0.6. Yes. And then I'll go over here to actions, and I will tell it to run. Run it now. Run it now. I need it now. And hopefully that will run. Maybe. I'd like to see it here, please. Run it from 0.6. Let's go. You say it was triggered. There we go. Checking the things out. We'll take a look and see what it gives us. What could go wrong? Do the thing! That's right, smirking squiggly. Go! This is how we develop. We wave hands and point at things. Right, I want to see it generate a badge and upload the badge to the gist so that the gist over here has a thing. And the hamsters are spinning up. Please welcome Squiggy, the water darn it. I almost had it. Please welcome Squiggy, the water skiing squirrel. No! Squirrel! What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong?
You keep using the word.
I do.
I do not think it means what you think it means.
Oh, it does. I didn't put an ID on it. That's what it is. That's what it is, isn't it? Back to the... So I can delete this branch. Back into here. Into this. Edit it. Here we are. Publish unit tests. Right? Added an ID to the test step. Sure. Go. Back over to the actions. .NET build. We want to run that. 06. Do it now. Let's go. Let's go. Do this. Would it be okay to say hi if I'm in Stockholm? Of course. Of course. Yes. Here's the thing, friends. If you see me at a conference, you are absolutely 100% welcome and encouraged to come up, say hello, introduce yourself.
Oh my.
Make sure you tell me your screen name so that I know who you are. But absolutely, I want to meet you if you're at an event. Now, if you see my family and we're on vacation somewhere, like, I don't mind saying hello, but give me space. You know what I'm saying? But at a conference, at a professional thing like that, yes, absolutely. Please do. There it goes. There it goes. Just updated written badge SVG. Do we have it here? Huh? Look at that. Look at that. I like it. So, we got a channel points redemption. See, that's another thing that Charlie's going to help with, is getting some of those notifications getting in here. So my test results, that looks good. And if I go back over here, okay, so let's go to the 06. And that's not showing yet. Why aren't you showing me? This. That. Hang on. Create a badge from test results. User ID raw badge SVG. I guess. Oh, it still has his name in it. Wait, what? Wait, what? Yeah. Hang on. All right. Can I just delete that all the way down to just... Yeah. So I can replace that. That, no. There was the problem right there. Ooh. Okay. It's... No, that's okay. That's okay. Delete that one. delete that. Paste that in. Preview. Hey! Fixed test badge. There we go. So on the 06 branch, hey! Ah! Right! It only took us a half an hour to build that. Please do not give me your hat or coat to hold. That's right. Don't do that to the hat stand. That's right. I don't take vacations either. You better believe it. I do not take vacations. Frank asks, how you doing there, Frank? How did I end up using Azure resources? What did I end up using as Azure resources for SharpSight? Nothing yet. I have an OpenAI. I have an OpenAI, Azure OpenAI service allocated that's using GPT-4o as the model to do the translations. But right now, nothing is on the Microsoft Azure for SharpSight. There are pages. Right, where is it? Settings. We did get GitHub pages set up that host the website because it's a static website at this point. And we generated this with Copilot on Tuesday. So that's out there and working and doing its thing. That. I heard the beep beep, but I don't know where the beep beep was. No matter. So that's what I'm using right now because it's free and I'm hosting a page with an image. So, Rondolph asks, for a beginner interested in web development, what languages would you suggest? HTML. Start with the basics, HTML, CSS. At some point, you're going to need to learn JavaScript. I wouldn't get into JavaScript off the get-go. But HTML, CSS, start there. Yeah, copy-paste strikes again. So, if I see Robert Tables at a conference, you better not have your database connection string saved on your phone. How you doing there, Fred? Great to see you. I've got to do a Thanos voice mod here. So that GitHub action is just building. That's correct. Yes. Yeah, that was Discord, but I don't see what I'm being discorded. Yeah. No matter. I know it wasn't Teams. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Okay. Let me change. Let me change the badge back. So that it's on the main branch. Right here. So that it will only upload when it's on the main branch. But I've already got one uploaded. Now using a badge generated from the main branch only. So that's not going to rebuild, but we know that it'll look right when we merge up this version. How you doing there? Cool Pants TV. Cool Pants TV. Because all the other pantses aren't as cool. I need to do a Thanos voice mod here. We should do that and make half our code disappear here. 1 second, let's do this. Let's get the Thanos voice mod running here. And no, it did not start. No, I'm not switching devices. I'm using the same one. And it is right there.
Oh, yes. 5 minutes of the Mad Titan writing code. Make it happen. Those Avengers, they think they know what's going on. They don't understand the universe is overpopulated. Needs to be slimmed down for the sake of everyone. They think they're standing on their legs and standing against me. But their soul isn't stable and supporting like a bowl of jelly. No. None of that. You can't stop me. My Infinity Gauntlet cookie jar is over there on the shelf. Because after you're done decimating and killing trillions of beings, you put the Infinity Gauntlet on the shelf as a cookie jar, right? Maybe. Alright, moving on. Yeah. One commit behind. Which commit's behind? Which commit is behind? Oh, the CIA badge. I thought we already added that. Because it's already here. There it is! Whatever. It works. Okay. So I have my badge working. I don't need this anymore. We do that. Good. Alright. Let's find... No, I'm not gonna work on this. No, not yet. Back over here. This one. I've got a handful of tasks to look at. Does the Infinity Gauntlet provide infinite cookies? Outside of Europe, yes. In Europe, you have to accept the cookies each time that you ask for cookies from the Infinity Gauntlet for privacy reasons. Okay? Moving on! Let's see. Playwright tests. You need to move. Yes. If you want infinite cookies, get out of Europe. We could do playwright tests. You know what? No. Let's do this one first. This is an easy one. I can do this. When saving updates to plugin configuration, we need a feedback bar on the screen. This is easy. This is a piece of cake. Unit tests. Yes, unit tests. Let's see. Components, admin. Which one is it? This one. Yeah. I need a status message. Pull in the lace. Check out. Fix. Plugin status. Sure. Alright. We need a property. Public stream status. Yeah, there you go. Hey! Ooh, I don't need this anymore. Because we have the edit property thing. Should have that done for Friday. Cool. I'm going to add. If status message is not null, show the message. Do the thing, Copilot. If there's an error, I should make it appear not as info, but as an error. Right? Public. Status is error. I don't know. And we can do this. If status is error is true, change this to red to indicate that there was an error. Something like that. Play rate tests. That's where we're going to get to. Yeah, there we go. Good. Continuing. Get rid of that. Here. Nope. Didn't want to do that. Wrong one. There we go. Wrap this with a try-catch block and set a status message. A status is error appropriately. We're done with Thanos.
Back to my normal voice. Yes. Let me see. Go to head back over here. Go back to full screen code. I don't know what that is. Go ahead. Sure. Configuration saved successfully. Error saving configuration. That looks good. Sure. I guess that works. Right. Try catch, and you've got a couple extra curly braces here, friend. Good. You broke things. I guess I delete this. I guess that works. Maybe. Attention. Yeah. What's the thing? Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep. See, that's another thing Charlie's going to help with. Let's make sure this works. Yeah, that's what what it ends up saying, right?
Hey, listen.
Click into the thing. Come on. Site admin. Plugin management. Yes. Sure. Ta-ta. Add that. And all the work I did on getting the file upload plugin working, yeah, it's not here. Feels bad, man. Yeah. Yeah, is it in my recycle bin? Do we even have a way to get to the recycle bin anymore in Windows? What is this? What is this? I don't know what they did. Is there no longer a recycle bin in Windows? Why can't I get to the recycle bin? Where? I click on this PC and it's not there. It's gone. Windows S? No. Yeah. I'm going to tell it to restore my artifacts folder. There it is. File system plugin, except there's the file system storage. So if I make this something that isn't valid and I try to submit, it turns off and says, "Oh, you can't do that." And if I call this something else, why you do this? It won't revalidate. Why didn't it revalidate? Hmm? Well, that's a problem. Right, value chain, validation message for value expression. on that entity, on that property name. Okay. So how and when do I get it to revalidate this? So I've got this dynamic component over here. Maybe I have something. Google Lens wins. Right, I'm doing where to go. Value changed, property set value. I want to somehow force a state has changed so that it goes and reevaluates that context. Right? So I could put an event callback. Right? Event callback on property changed. Which means these are going to get just a little bit more. I think it's invoke, isn't it? Yeah. Yup. True. And here it is. False. Just update all these. I think. Now we gotta do that one. I think that's right. Looks like it said it hot reloaded. Okay, so now I can wire up on property changed over here Status changed. Blah! You make me sad. Restart. Would it be better to make HTML more cleaner and extract to a method? I would need to make the value that we're setting a dynamic. Could do that. Yes, default input components do have validation message. However, I'm doing this with reflection and building the plugin page, the plugin UI dynamically. Cool, and that disabled over here. So then if I put something in, it does properly set it up right, and if I submit... that. Ooh. That's a meeting I need to attend. Shoot. All right. I've got something here that I need to fix, but I'm going to get to that later. But there's a meeting that I forgot about that I need to attend. I need to get into. So I need to wrap things up here in a jiffy. So let's call it right there. I'm going to save what I have and get that pushed into my working branch. Working on adding status message to plugin config. And that's committed. It's available out there if you want to take a look at where I was working. No need to await that. Let me take a look at who else is streaming out there that I can get you connected to. If you're watching on YouTube, there's other folks out here that you can find. There's other videos that I've got linked that are on screen here for you. I'm going to join you into... you know what? Let's go a little nutty here and go a little bit off what we normally do. I'm going to get us connected over to a friend who is doing some craft, a little chill streaming, just hanging out, doing a little bit of crochet, but talking about all the cool stuff. Let me get you rated into our friend Fairy Wings. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll have another stream tomorrow. We'll go through more of this. We'll get Playwright integrated, and we'll use some Copilot to generate Playwright tests. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I wish you good health and good streaming. Take care. Good coding, that too. Yeah.